Well, it's Wednesday morning. Sorry I didn't do an update last night, but it's Wednesday morning, so we are, I believe, 48 hours, just under 48 hours. It's 8 o'clock, so we're at 46 hours into our batch. I haven't looked at the burner yet, literally just got in. So the burner is down to 50 degrees. I set it to 90 again last night, so it's come down a bit. Kiln is up to 22. My target is 16. I'll just explain myself out here. So, when the burner is running at 120 degrees, it brings the kiln right down to around 13-14% or lower. I truly believe we're going to try it. While it's not too hot, I'm going to turn off the burner for only a few minutes and see if that humidity starts going up really quickly. Because I truly believe the sensor isn't broke, but it's just in the wrong place. You saw where I put it in the top left hand corner of the kiln. I think the hot air is coming from the end of the kiln where the inlet is, travelling down the roof, and that's all the sensor is somewhat measuring, is the new fresh hot air. So if I turn my burner off, let's see if the humidity rises really quickly. So at 22.7 at the moment, 22.8, 22.9, 30, 23, sorry, 23. It's gone up a little bit. Don't forget the work fan is on. The fan is on, trying to suck through cool air. But it's going up fairly rapidly. $24 now, 21, yeah. I mean, that's going up pretty quickly. So I believe the sensor is in the wrong place. I need to bring it down out of the stream of fresh air so it measures what's really in the kiln. I brought it down to 16 because I had it at like 30 or 40, but it was never getting up to it. I mean, that's at 20, just come up to 26 now. So obviously the air that's coming through the burner is extremely dry. So we can't really change it at the moment because there's a lot of cages in there. So that's why I've brought it down to really like 16, and then I'll probably drop it down to 13 today, just in case it comes up to 13. So I want to try and make it do its cycle with off and on. But all the time it's blowing 120 degree dry air inside the kiln. That's all it seems to be measuring because I've got the sensor in the wrong place. So that's more of a true reading. What moisture is in there, 26.2. Maybe a little bit higher. Slowly going up now. But I'll be honest, the logs look really good. So we're on 48 hours, well 46 hours, and they're definitely cracked open a lot more than normal, which is exciting. So I'm gonna get this burner fired up because I don't want to leave it off too long, but that simulates a power cut. If you ever have a power cut with one of these, don't go and open the door, don't go and open the flap, don't do anything, just leave it. The wood, the material inside the top chamber will starve of air and it will basically go like charcoal if it's left off for that long. As soon as you open the door and open the flaps, you're introducing air and the burner will overheat. Granted, the burner will get hotter, but it won't get too hot. It will get to a point where it starts to just be in slumber for that long, where it basically just starts to cool down. But do not open the doors, don't open the flaps, because you'll overheat your burner and at risk of damaging it. So turn it on, it's going to be noisy again. Get that on, I'm going to clean the bottom out, and then I'm going to fill it up with more waste, get it back up to 120 degrees. I'll just show you, I'll turn this on. Fan's doing its thing. I did put some wettish kindling in there yesterday afternoon. So it's nice and warm. It doesn't feel too damp, but we'll get that burner ramped right up again. Honestly, I don't think it's gonna be ready by the end of the day. No way. I don't think it's gonna be ready by tomorrow morning, but maybe tomorrow night. I'll show you the logs in a minute when I've got the burner going again. When I say get going again, there's got plenty of embers in there, I'm sure. I haven't looked, but a few shovelfuls of waste like this, it'll be back up to 120 degrees burner temp in about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. I've got some like seasoned herb waste. Perfect. Makes perfect fuel because it's already been cut into manageable lengths. And it could be absolutely anything as long as it's dry. Okay, so burner's at 48. Whack it right up to 120. That won't take long. To think it's already gasified. Yeah. Wow. So rip roaring. Current humidity is 24.5. The fan will turn up, so its fan turns on at 16%. and it then goes down 2% before the fan switches off. So when that gets really hot, this is going to turn off anyway. But don't forget, that's purely because I've got the sensor in the wrong place. I wanted to keep it out of the way of the forklift, but I think it's just measuring the fresh air coming in the top end. Live and you learn. So when we empty this kiln, I'll change where it is. So as you can see, we're cracking open. Doesn't smell too wet in here. I mean, the kindling does, because I only put that in last night and it was quite wet. We're just starting to crack open. They were more cracked yesterday, but that's because it was a lot hotter in here because the burner has died down a bit. But the advantage to that fan coming on at night is even if the burner goes out, I used to rely on the burner push the wet air out. But if the burner went out now, that fan would come on and just start sucking the wet air out, and it won't stop until it either gets hotter again, drier, or I turn it off. So it actually does work pretty handy, because you're better off sucking it out rather than leaving the wet, warm air in there. Can't really show you too much because I've loaded it right up. But as you can see, and I'll be honest, this is feeling quite light. This was probably a bit part season. This whole cage looks a bit part season because it's got grey on the ends. But I might take that out, let it cool down and moisture test it. I know it's not going to be ready, but it'll be interesting to see how far off it is. But we'll also take, this looks like a very green cage. Granted, this is probably a bit of a false reading because we need to take one from the middle. But and that seems quite dry as well. I want to find a green one. These orange ones, they're going to be more likely to be quite wet. So we'll take a few, but look how much it's cracking. That's 48 hours, guys. I definitely think we're onto something. I just need to change where that sensor is. Well, we got them deliveries done. Had some lunch, did some editing. I get the digger warmed up and have a bit more of a tidy up. Gonna have a quick look at the humidity sensor. I might have to adjust it because I've got it ramped up to 120 at the minute, and it might be reading a bit low, so it might not be venting as much as it should be. So currently humidity in there apparently is 9.5, so I'm gonna bring it down to 9 or 8. Go down to 8. That fan's come on. So we just keep venting. Don't forget, this is day 3. So it's drying a lot quicker than it was before. Definitely getting a lot drier. So that's sucking, as I say, You guys know this already, but it's sucking in from the front, blowing out the back. Let's have a look and see if that humidity is dropping at all. It might struggle to get any lower than that now, really. I mean, 9% humidity is pretty dry. Right, so I've set it to 9 because 8 is going to be far too dry. Well, not dry, but I think we're going to struggle to get to it. I don't want the fan being on for 15, 20 minutes, half an hour. So I've set it to 9 and it's come down from 9.4 or 9.5, whatever it was, 9.1. Hopefully it'll drop down to 9. So there you are, it's got down to 9. Fan's turned off and it will start, it's obviously pumping hot air in. I don't want it cooling down too much, but I do want it pumping out. So that fan was on for about 2 or 3 minutes. It's actually getting quite a lot of timber on this timber deck now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clean that bit up on the end there. Give these a test. Yeah, still 32 in the middle. $24, that's ash. I believe this is chestnut, or I think it's chestnut. and that'll explain why it's so wet. It does take quite a bit more drying chestnut. 22, 23, that's ash. 21, that's ash. 22, that's ash. See, the ash is surprisingly already nearly there. So it is going to be in there for at least another day, if not another one. I think 4 days will be pretty mint. I mean, the ash will be super dry, and I don't know why there's a bit of chestnut in there, if I'm honest. We don't cut chestnut. It must have slipped through, but I mean, so we got to get. I'm gonna actually find out where that's come from and just deal with that cage. But the rest of it will be ash and beech. So maybe I'll find some beech this evening or tomorrow morning, and we will measure that. Okay guys, so we have chainsawed them up, put all the burner waste in here or over there. These are all rings to go through the processor as well. That one fell over the other side. Ugh. These lumps, I try and cut the rings to about 6 inches because they dry super quick when they're not that thick. But like a big round like that lasts for a long time, and it makes some really nice like coal, like embers in the burner. Got some rotten bit of oak, just offcuts of oak and stuff. But yeah, we've got a lot of sawdust to clear up. I might do that now because it is due to rain tonight. Yeah, it's due to rain tonight, so I might just try and clear the sawdust up now before it goes all wet and sodden and horrible. Okay, so just put my hand here, I can feel that it's still pushing out, so it's not sucking at the moment, but it's definitely getting a lot hotter in there now, and the humidity is definitely coming down, which is fantastic. And as I say, this is day 3, so it went on Monday morning. It is now Wednesday evening, afternoon, so we'll see what it's saying. So it's currently 9.3 humidity in there. But like I said, I do believe I've put the sensor in the wrong place. So it's not been it's annoying, it's not been a true test, this first one. I messed up. I didn't really think about it. I didn't know how sensitive it was going to be. Well, I knew it was going to be sensitive, but I basically think where I've got it, I'll demonstrate in the kiln number 1. Light in it. Okay. Ooh. So pretend we're in kiln number 2. Obviously it's all stacked up with logs, so I can't get to it. And the vent on kiln number 2 is coming in more there, more to the left hand side. And it's blowing straight in, and you can imagine the hot dry air coming down through the kiln, along the roof and along this kind of corner, which is fine, because these will eventually pick the hot air up and blow it back down to the bottom. But I've got my sensor about here, not too far from where the inlet is. So I believe all the hot air is channeling down that top corner and picking up on the sensor. So the sensor's only really reading what's coming out the burner and whatever gets caught up in that kind of tolerance. So I think I need to move it down to the bottom, ideally, or somewhere near one of these, because that is mixed air. By the time it's gone through there and mixed in with all the other air, we need to put the sensor somewhere near here, one of the outlets. I'm going to start processing tomorrow and get 3 cages or 6 cages done. I can move the cages out of the way. Andy's going to move this fan down to the bottom corner, because I do believe that is the right place to put it. Reading some of the comments and how it's worked there, it really is working well. So we're going to take that fan out of here, put it down there, patch it up, and then I've got my other humidity sensor that we just need to poke through the wall and get as far down as possible. So we'll have kiln number 1 going on the humidity sensor as well. I'm 90% sure I'm going to get 4 fans along this edge now, just to mix up the air even more. I'm not going to put any more than 27 in. I was speaking to Ian again. Thank you, Ian, if you're watching this. He's got a proper kiln made by quite a big company, and you're only meant to put half. So the volume of wood is meant to only take up half the volume of whatever barn or container you're using. And it's probably on a sticker somewhere, but you can Google it. The square meterage of, or the cubic meterage of air inside a 40-foot high cube container is a certain amount. You can't really put any more than half in than that. So, being I can't actually put any more than 27 IBCs in, but otherwise you're gonna impact the drying times massively. So that's a learning curve. Didn't know about that, so thank you, Ian, again. So we're going to go for 27, and what I'm thinking is an L shape, 1 on the left hand side and 2 high on the right hand side, with big fans pointing diagonal across all 3 cages. Yeah, it's more expense, it's more electricity, but if it increases the drying and it makes the drying more even, they're pretty even as they are, if I'm honest, but they've had the time to get even, where if I'm trying to increase my drying time down to 3 or 4 days, they're going to have to be really blasted. So we're going to get more fans in each container, I think. I just want to prove it to myself this system works first, then I'm going to buy more fans. So that'll be another thing, a little modification coming to the kiln. It's more like the first one I did. I think you just got to live and you learn, bite the bullet. The centrifugal fan thing, all this down the side here, it works, it does work, don't be wrong, but the airflow isn't as good as I hoped. On the bottom cages it's fine, but anything above the bottom cages it's not great. So I'm just going to have to take this one on the chin. It didn't work as well as it should, but you can see what I was doing it for, because we drive in here, no worries at all with the forklift. We're not worried about hitting any fans, we're not worried about hitting any ducting. You can see why I did it. But as I said, you live and you learn. Right, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you can take all that information in. If you like the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Lots of processing to be done, and hopefully some of these cages are going to be filled up. I'll see you guys in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.